Thank you. Well, I'll keep this very short. I am fortunate to be here with our CEO of Bnai Brith. He is a walking encyclopedia of everything, not only Bnai Brith, but everything with regard to every Jewish community across the world. If you have questions, feel free to ask Dan. He will have the answer. It never ceases to amaze me. It's my great honor to introduce Dan Mariashin, the CEO of Bnai Brith International.
Thank you, Seth. I'm honored to take the stage very briefly to tell you the story of the origins of an important monument here at the Knesset, or at least as much as we know about it until now. The story begins with a tiny article from January 1952 that caught the eye of the director of the Knesset Museum, Dr. Moshe Fuchsman-Shal, when he was researching something completely different. And it reads, headline, present of the Bnai Brith Buenos Aires to the Knesset, present, a consignment note for a large menorah. A present from Bnai Brith in Buenos Aires to the Knesset was presented yesterday morning to the Speaker of the Knesset, Yosef Sprinzak, by Mr. Enrico Schuster and Mr. M. Korn, leaders of Bnai Brith in Buenos Aires. The menorah will arrive in Israel in the coming days. The menorah, the ceremony will take place with the participation of Speaker Sprinzak, his deputies, and some of the Knesset staff. That menorah did in fact arrive, and it was placed on a roof, on the roof of Beit Frumin, which is a building on King George Street in downtown Jerusalem that served as the Knesset. When the Knesset moved here to its new building in 1966, the menorah was prominently displayed for years until it was moved just outside the new Kedem wing, which is where all of the VIPs enter. The plaque on the menorah reads, a present to the Israel Parliament on the occasion of the third day of independence from the Bnai Brith Lodge, Bnai Brith Buenos Aires, May 1951, ER 5701. Now, from the research we've done here in Jerusalem and in Buenos Aires, it turns out that this menorah has the honor of being the very first gift received by the Knesset from any Jewish community. It was designed by David Sevi, a member of the Argentina founding Bnai Brith Lodge, later renamed Hijos de la Biblia, in Buenos Aires, that actually still exists. Sevi was born in Jerusalem on this day, February 22nd, 1889. So this is the 133rd birthday of David Sevi. He studied at the famous agricultural school, Mikveh Israel, and he enjoyed the arts as a hobby, and he became a trained engineer. Now, as we leave the Knesset today, we'll gather at the menorah to take a group photo and to rededicate the monument with the unveiling of a new legible sign that reads, the menorah in the plaza of a 1951 work by artist David Sevi is a gift from Bnai Brith Argentina. And as we gather there, look at the detailed work based on the bas-relief on the base representing the 12 tribes. But one more note, the story does not end there. In his Zionist zeal, David Sevi created a second nearly identical menorah that was donated by the Bnai Brith Lodge to the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires shortly after the building at 910 Arroyo Street in Buenos Aires was dedicated in 1959. This menorah is the only item that survived the bombing of that embassy in 1992 and adorns the new embassy to this day. And in fact, the 20th anniversary of the bombing of the Israeli embassy in Buenos Aires will be observed on March 17th of this year. While we're still researching the events surrounding the decision of the Lodge to sponsor these beautiful endorsements of the fledgling state of Israel and of the persona of David Sevi, unfortunately, the passage of time and the death of David and his architect son Uri and the lack of archival materials have made this task more difficult. Allow me to thank Dr. Moshe Fuchsman-Shal, the Knesset historian, CEO of the Knesset, Gil Segal, who was here, and Speaker Mickey Levy for their cooperation, and Malcolm and William for scheduling these few minutes in our hectic schedule to tell you this story. Thank you.